Recently, there was an article about the negatives of delaying retirement. But if you delay retirement, assuming you're still working, you're going to have more money. So, how could delaying retirement be a negative? More and more Americans are working longer as a way to delay retirement, sort of an escape hatch for not having enough money saved, which makes sense. If you don't have a whole lot saved, it's a lot easier to just say, okay, I'm going to keep working. I will delay retirement till later in life. Now, according to a recent poll, more and more people are working in retirement. They're picking up part-time jobs. If they can get a full-time job doing something maybe other than the business that they're in, something that is more fun or exciting, or they're self-employed or starting a new business. But there's more and more evidence that shows that delaying retirement might actually be a bad thing, which seems kind of strange, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look at some stats from this survey.
About 40% of U.S. workers say they are behind on retirement planning and savings, primarily due to debt or getting a late start. Still, in assessing their futures, 44% of U.S. workers are cautiously optimistic about reaching their retirement goals, and 27% are realistic about getting there. That may be because many Americans, for many of them, retirement may not look that much different than working. In the poll, more than half of adults who are not retired, 53%, said they plan to work in retirement, either to supplement their income, that was 27%, or because they want to, that was 26%. And even among retirees, more than a quarter, 28%, said they are currently working to supplement their retirement funds because they have to, that was 11%, or they want to. So maybe retirement itself is being retired. That's what Joe Coughlin, the head of the Age Lab at MIT, says. He says that often within a year or two, retirees find out that they either need more money or they need something to do, and then they go back to work.
When I think of the word retirement, I imagine an old guy, usually incredibly overweight, sitting on his front porch waiting to die. Now, I know that's harsh, but anyone I've ever known who has used that word, that's usually who they are. Just because you're retired doesn't mean you can't start a new business, be active, volunteer. You could have a whole second life if you wanted to. What's really interesting about this survey is they found out the way people look at retirement is so much different depending on your age.
Do the feelings about retirement and how prepared people are, does it break down differently according to age brackets?
Well, certainly. I mean, I think a lot of younger people are not even thinking about retirement. They're not even really using that word. They're thinking about financial freedom and the opportunity to work in ways that they allow them to do what they want to do now and in the future. And so that may be working several different jobs. And that also means that that requires saving several different ways. So looking at what many people should be doing, which is looking at a workplace retirement plan, looking at a self-employment retirement plan if you have access to that, and then a taxable investment account. Those are ways to save for retirement, but they're not thinking about it as retirement. They're thinking of it as a way to get to financial freedom.
I don't know if you caught it or not, but she said two of the finest words in the English language in that clip. Financial freedom. Now, you can make an argument that the two best words in English are open bar, but I like financial freedom. One of the things they found out is that people often retire 5 years before they expect. So if you expect to retire at 66, a lot of people are retiring at 62. So how are these people retiring early, you ask? Well, it ties in with what I talked about in the beginning of this video when I said that there's evidence that delaying retirement or retiring early is a negative. Working longer and having more money may backfire on you. So here's what I'm talking about. Remember those people who are retiring 5 years earlier? They didn't do it because they could. They didn't do it because they had the money. 35% of people who retire earlier do so because they have to, because of a hardship, a health problem, a disability, or, and this is a big one, they get laid off. Now, this was kind of the kicker. I mean, I did not expect this when I was going through this article and watching this video on it, but it does make sense, especially the layoff part. If you're 50 years old, if you're 60 years old, you've been working at a company for however long, you have to remember it doesn't matter how long you've been there, you're still an employee. If you fill out a W-4, you're an employee. And they can get rid of you damn near anytime they want. Now you could claim it's ageism. Hey, I've been here for 20 years and I turned 60 today and they let me go. Yeah, and a lot of times it probably is ageism, but that's a really hard thing to prove. The company could drop you, hire somebody in their 20s, give the position a new title, and they're home scot-free. And they're going to pay that person a lot less than what they're paying you. So these people who think, I'm going to delay retirement, I'll just keep working, all of a sudden they hit a wall when they have some kind of hardship, like a health problem, which is happening more and more. I mean, we live in America. America is one of the most unhealthy countries in the world. So they have some kind of health problem or they get laid off. These are things that you can't foresee. So even though your plan may be to keep working, what happens when your boss walks into your room, your office, your cubicle, and says, hey, we thank you for your service, but we're going to have to let you go. And you go home and you think in your mind, I have a mortgage payment every month. I have a car payment every month. I owe some money to my daughter's education. I have this payment. I have that payment. And you're, let's say, 55, 65 years old. Now, you can still get a job at that age, but you're not going to get a job that's going to pay the same amount. You might not even get a full-time job. So if that happens to you, what are you going to do? You need to start investing in taking care of yourself today.